been working all day, getting my ass kicked. I've been down on my luck since I was a kid.
What if I told you there's one murder case in America that was solved by a ghost?
I would call bullcrap.
You call bullcrap. It sounds like something straight out of a horror movie. But this is something that actually happened in Greenbrier, West Virginia. Well, Greenbrier County, West Virginia.
Whether you believe in ghosts or not, this story is fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. It is fascinating. We actually done an episode on this before, but we wanted to redo another episode and give a little bit more information about it. We done a little bit more research on it, and we wanted to present it better. However, this is the story of Zona Heaster Shue, better known as
The Greenbrier Ghost.
the Greenbrier Ghost.
This is one of my favorite, like Appalachian, West Virginian, what do you call this, folklore, I guess?
Yeah, it'd be folklore, paranormal.
Yeah. So anyways, in 1897 in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, quiet farming community. It's in southeastern West Virginia. It's where the Greenbrier Resort is. A lot of y'all probably heard of that. It's where the New York Giants training camp is right now.
Yep. State Fair, West Virginia.
Yep. Greenbrier County. It's over in Lewisburg. But people relied heavily on neighbors, churches, and local gossip. Medical science and forensic investigations were not anything that could be really used.
They're still in their infancy at that time.
Yeah, they were. So it wasn't reliable. And death investigations often depended on observations of local physicians rather than modern forensic methods.
Yeah, back then it was the husband had overall authority over the wife. If he said she died of a heart attack, well, she died of a heart attack.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, and the local doctor would just be like, sounds good to me.
Yep, close up shop.
Yep.
So let's talk about Zona Heaster. She was born Elva Zona Heaster, but everyone called her Zona, so that's what we're going to call her, Zona. Known as beautiful, friendly, and well-liked, she met a traveling blacksmith named Erasmus Trout Shue. For the episode, he actually liked to be called Trout, so that's what we're going to refer to him as Trout for the rest of the episode. However, with this pairing of Zona and Trout, the mother, Mary, she had her concerns. She did not really care for Mr. Trout. She had instincts, told her something wasn't right from the very beginning, and she actually opposed the marriage because they actually went off and they eloped. So she did oppose it.
Well, that's not something that was really a thing that women would do back then. They wouldn't openly speak out against.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's her daughter, that was unusual.
Well,
you know.
You know what they say. Mothers always know best.
That's true. And she had a bad feeling. And it never went away from her. So on January 23rd, 1897, a neighborhood boy arrived at the Shue home and discovered Zona dead. So Trout's behavior immediately struck people as unusual. And instead of allowing, a careful examination, he insisted on preparing the body himself.
Yeah. He was very fidgety, very impatient during the autopsy. He kind of told the doctor, hey, she died of... there's multiple stories on this. One of them is heart failure. One of them is complications of pregnancy. And one of them was the something like the everlasting faint.
Yeah.
Is what they called it. Mm. So there's really three theories on how she had died at that time. Because that's what who does the autopsies? The
medical examiner.
The medical examiner really said, he was rushed, and he said, okay, well, that's how she died.
Well, get this though. Mm-hmm. So, like I just said, he insisted on for her, funeral, I guess, dressing her himself. So he dressed her in a high neck dress, wrapped a scarf around her neck. And, during the funeral, he reportedly kept adjusting her head and neck whenever visitors approached the casket. So, the local doctor, like you just said, he initially listed as natural causes, with the explanation later changing, but the examination had been incomplete because of Trout's interference. So that right there tells you everything you need to know.
So let's talk about Trout for a minute. I'm going to go off script for just a second. Mr. Trout, this was his third marriage. And back in 1897, if you're getting married 3 times, chances are, man, what's that in today's terms is like 10 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Because back then, women didn't leave their husbands for any reason.
Yeah. The first marriage, I can't remember how it ended. The second marriage ended when his wife mysteriously died because they were renovating their house and a brick fell and hit her on the head.
Imagine that.
Yeah. No foul play, obviously, was found in that. Mr. Trout did have a criminal history, however. When he was introduced to Mary, he didn't even say his real name. He said his name was, what, Edward or something like that?
Yeah.
So he didn't even give her the right name, but he did have a criminal history. I think it was in, like, theft or something like that. So, yeah, that's a little backstory on Mr. Trout here. He wasn't a nice, outstanding citizen. He has some flaws, and he has some mysterious ways of how he has some anger issues and everything like that.
Yeah. So now let's kind of go into everybody's favorite part of this story.
Paranormal aspect.
Yeah. So the next part is legend mixed with sworn testimony. Like, this was sworn testimony. So let's keep that in mind. It's not something that can be independently verified, but according to Mary Heaster, Zona appeared to her 4 nights in a row. All right? So 4 nights in a row she sees her daughter. The spirit claimed Trout murdered her. She allegedly demonstrated how her neck had been broken, turning her head completely around.
Yeah, so the ghost was spinning its head completely around.
Yeah. And also, not only that, she described the argument that they had that led to the murder. So, first of all, imagine the ghost coming to you and describing it and then turning their head all the way around like a daggone owl.
But that would scare me to death.
I'd have moved out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd have been out of there. But, whether people believe the ghost story or not, Mary became absolutely convinced her daughter had been murdered from this testimony that she said the ghost gave her.
Right. So it's led to the body being exhumed. Basically, they dug the body back up. So Mary continued insisting authorities reopen the investigation, which they have. Eventually, prosecutor John Alfred Preston agreed to investigate, and Zona's body was exhumed. The autopsy found a broken neck, crushed windpipe, and signs of strangulation. The official cause of death became homicide at that time. This transform would have been considered a natural death into a murder investigation. So the ghost that appeared to Miss Mary told her exactly what had happened, and then when they actually went and redone an autopsy on Zona, it confirmed what the ghost was saying.
Yeah, and I guess that's the part that makes it hard to discredit it.
It really does,
because it was to a T. I've saw people say, "Well, that's just a grieving mother." Or a grieving parent seeing their child come to them in dreams, and you already had an uneasy feeling anyway. But daggone it was to a T.
It was.
So. But anyways, so now we got the trial, right?
Yeah.
So the body's been exhumed. They have found that indeed she has been murdered. But this is where the legend grows. So the ghost itself was not accepted as legal evidence.
Yes.
But during cross-examination, Trout's own attorney questioned Mary extensively about her visions, apparently hoping to discredit her. So he was trying to say probably that she was crazy.
So when it says wasn't accepted as legal evidence, I'm sure the judge was trying to throw it out. But with the prosecutor continually, extensively cross-examining it, there's no way they could. You can't just tell the jury, like, hey, everything that this guy just said, act like you didn't hear it. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and they try to do that stuff, but you can't just unhear something.
Exactly.
But even though that Trout's attorney was trying to discredit what she was saying, many believed her unwavering testimony and made her seem more credible. So then the physical evidence from the autopsy, not the supernatural claims, formed the basis of the murder case. So essentially, she sat on the bench and said, "This is what the ghost told me." And then over here, they got the autopsy report, and they're like, "Bobby daggone.
She didn't die of heart failure. She didn't die of the faint or whatever it's called.
The everlasting faint or something.
Everlasting faint, something like that.
Well, I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Yeah.
It was the 1800s, 1890s. So the result was Trout Shue was convicted of first-degree murder. He received a life sentence, as he should. But however, he didn't get to serve that life sentence because the no-good SOB died in 1900 during a flu epidemic. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, you go to prison, you're in there for, what, probably 2.5 years at this point, maybe, because this was 1897. In 1900, you get taken out. Not saying he didn't deserve it. I'm just saying, you lived your whole life living this kind of lifestyle, because he for sure murdered his other wife.
did.
It's not just something you decide one day, like, hey, I'm going to murder somebody today.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they actually said when he was in jail, he was actually bragging about how he wanted to be married 7 times. He wanted 7 marriages. He was bragging about it and said that was his
mental health issues.
Yeah, he said that was his goal, was to be married 7 times.
Yeah, he had mental health issues. Glutton for punishment, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, why has this case survived for 125 years? Because it combines true crime. Everybody loves true crime.
Everybody loves true crime.
It's mystery, small town history, paranormal folklore, and a determined mother's search for justice. I mean, 98% of the documentaries you watch now on true crime, the parents are on there pleading for somebody to come forward.
Yeah.
And in this case, I believe her. I believe that it happened.
I believe the Greenbrier ghost was real.
I mean, say what you want to, call it what you want to. It told her something, and she insisted enough to have the body exhumed, which is, you got to jump through hoops to get that done even now.
Right.
I can't imagine then,
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it all lines up perfectly.
Right.
I mean, but in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, there's a historical marker that refers to it as the only known case in which a testimony from a ghost helped convict a murderer. And I've seen the sign. Super cool. Super cool place to visit. But I mean, it's legend. Everybody knows the story of the Greenbrier ghost.
Everybody knows the Greenbrier ghost.
And if you didn't, you do now.
Exactly. So, we're going to ask a couple questions. Of course, we're going to answer them, but we want you guys to answer them in the comments. Do you guys think Mary actually saw the daughter's ghost?
Absolutely.
I do. I think she did. There's no question in my mind. Was it simply a mother's intuition, though? I think at the beginning, when she said, this dude's not right, something ain't right with this guy, I believe 100% that was mother's intuition.
Yeah.
Did Trout accidentally reveal something that made Mary suspicious?
I've heard that before. Mm-hmm. I've heard people speculate that maybe she was starting to question, like, did your other wife really die or did you kill her? Mm-hmm. But we don't know. No one will ever know.
Right.
And so I personally think he was just a user, probably.
Yeah, alcoholic, probably.
Just a terrible human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's just history's greatest ghost story.
I mean,
he was the only case in America that's been solved by a ghost.
I actually saw this about the Greenbrier ghost. It wasn't like extensive, but it was mentioned. It was some kind of thing I was watching, and it was talking about people that have law degrees, and from what the person said on the documentary, this is a story that's in there, the Greenbrier ghost.
Nice. So we got some bonus facts for you right now. Like he says, Zona is buried in Greenbrier County. Her grave remains a point of interest for visitors. The case has inspired books, documentaries, podcasts, as you see, and stage productions, helping to keep the story alive in West Virginia folklore. And historians generally view the case as an example of how folklore and documented legal history can become intertwined, making it America's most unusual murder cases.
And with that being said,
well, we got one more thing here. Whatever you believe, one thing is for certain. Without Mary Heaster refusing to accept the original verdict, Zona's murder may have never been uncovered. And that's why the legend of the Greenbrier ghost still fascinates people more than a century later.
So, here's how much this... Because Greenbrier County isn't but like 30 minutes from us we can get to Greenbrier County. Mm-hmm. Yeah, give or take. And even as a kid, there's a book by Dennis Dietz. He's a West Virginia-born writer, I believe. And I used to read this book as a kid. I've read this book more than one time. It's called The Greenbrier Ghost. And that's how I actually learned about it. I've known this story since I was a kid. And actually, my mom and dad met him at the state fair. He signed the book, and they still got it at their house.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so, that's how much this legend is really instilled in this area. Like we talked about on some other episodes, like, we're just rich with folklore. and because we embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh, absolutely. So that was the story of Miss Zona Heaster Shue. We hope she rests in peace. And you know, as for Trout, you know, he got what he got. Man, with that being said, that's top level content from the low level. It's the basement.
Take it easy.